Alrighty. Are we ready for some introductions?
Absolutely.
Spawning in the top right hand corner here on Dragon Alpha for the first game of this series. Playing for Good Game Gaming, it is Dream.
And spawning here is the red Zerg player at the bottom left. Currently playing on a different name, but he is from Alpha X. He is RAGNAROK.
Alright, starting off with Dragon Alpha. Just to see how these two players want to approach the series. A little bit of a longer map. Maybe a little bit Zerg oriented. But I really feel that a player such as RAGNAROK can play so good in the late game and in the very early stages that it doesn't really make too much of a difference, which is the map we're playing on.
Yeah, I feel like both of these players aren't really rush type players. Usually they kind of just play it out. So I would definitely expect both of these players to play more of a standard type series. Although you can't leave it out of the question that there is a possibility that maybe one or two of these games achievement might be pulled. But so far, super standard thus far.
Yeah, especially on Drain's side. He likes to proxy a lot. He doesn't play the very committed proxy. Usually double Rex proxy. Doesn't really go all in on that. But it's a kind of play that he likes a lot. On the side of RAGNAROK, this isn't really the matchup in which he plays uber offensive. He can play an incredible offensive style of Zerg against Protoss, but against Terran, he likes to take his time.
Yeah, looks like we're gonna have ourselves a quick dirt here coming out of RAGNAROK.
Yeah, that is very interesting. 6 Zerglings to start it off. The Reaper already lowering their health, and he's gonna just take a pause in the main base of RAGNAROK before heading out. Just getting confirmation and all. While actually Dream is going to go for the command center before the starport as well.
Yeah, looks like a quick dirt base himself. Keeping up with RAGNAROK there. Where's that Reaper? Okay, there we go. He's fighting with the Queen there. Doesn't get too much done. Let's see if he actually commits in here to get some scouting information. So far, it looks like he will be a bit cautious that there is a large group of lings there. 6 in fact. Usually you'll see maybe 4, but I also do see sometimes Zerg player go for 6 just to be extra safe.
Yeah, I don't think Dream wants to be fun with his pants down, keeping that Reaper alive, getting confirmation upon confirmation until he dies. Always good to keep your opponent in check, make sure he's not hiding anything. While on his own side of the map, he's gonna get a Viking first out of this starport. This feels a lot like older style of opener on the side of Dream.
Yeah, and then you know what? It makes sense because this map is very, I guess, thin compared to like other maps. And so, usually Overlord placements are more prevalent here. They could usually do better jobs in scouting. And so you want to get that Viking to kind of take down and scare the Zerg and have them pull back the Overlord so that maybe later in the game you can kind of do drops and harasses and stuff like that.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. These over here in the main is gonna commit to a full scout. He's gonna see there's already an orbital command done. That kind of is a tell that Dream slow down his playstyle to have a third base a little bit quicker than usual. RAGNAROK is gonna answer with a Baneley Nest of his own, kind of needed of course in the matchup. But I don't think he's gonna be rushing Lair Tech anytime soon, even though we see an Armory going up quite early, and that's a lot of aliens. And that's a second factory! Ooh!
Oh wow, we are having ourselves a TVZ mech game here. Nice.
Oh, yes, we
Armory
are.
is done, and that is going to mean that Dream will be able to transform these Hellions into Hellbats. And let's see this attack commence. Not a lot, not a scary amount of Hellions or Hellbats rather.
Yeah. Like, that Sport Crawler being so forward is also a good counter to this. Like, that Medivac cannot really afford to go to all-in, and these Queens are a little bit too tanky. On creep, regenerating Elf very fast as well, so it doesn't really make a dent in the defenses of Ragnarok. That's a lot of quick spread. That energy should have been used on transfuses. I think Ragnarok made a little bit of a crucial mistake here. He's gonna lose one of those queens basically for free, but he's gonna keep the high ground. And Dream doesn't look like he's gonna all in on this. That's quite a lot of payments. Oh, Ragnarok needs to be very careful.
Yeah, doesn't want to fight on creep. The creep will get add an extra speed there for these banelings, so gotta be careful not to overstep his boundaries and have the banelings connect on those Hellbats and those Marines, because those Hellbats and Marines, they're gonna take extra splash damage from those banelings because they're more light units.
Alright, this is a very unique build on the side of Dream. I mean, you see him committing a little bit more. The Medivac is out of energy though. Oh, that's a beautiful catch on those banelings. Losing one Hellbat for that. On the other side of the map though, that's a lot of Zerglings. 14 SCVs have been going down. Finally, this fourth phase of the Ragnarok gets scouted, but I think the Queens right now got this. There's also a quite large amount of Zerglings heading back home from the harassment, and I have to say this exchange looking quite favorable towards Ragnarok.
Indeed, I mean, taking down 16 workers as well as keeping that fourth alive, I would say that is a pretty good win. And now that he has kind of defended and scared these Marines, these infantry units away, this is his time to start spreading that creep through the middle. But actually, he needs to prepare for this.
Wow! That Widowmine got a lot of kills.
Oh.
That's a lot of blood on the ground.
Oh, that's another a lot of blood here at the bottom side, as well as Ragnarok takes down that Medivac and loses pretty much nothing for it.
Yeah, that one Widowmine, I really doubt he's gonna go and do much. There's another Widowmine drop heading straight into the main, which is an interesting play. On the side of Dream, we see him just going full M into bio after getting 2 factories, which is interesting.
Wow, that is interesting. Usually, I mean, that's kind of weird though. I mean, you would think that he was
very weird.
Yeah, well, he would like commit to full-on mech, but going for a mid-game transition. Huh. Let's see if it works.
Oh, that's another beautiful run by Ragnar. That's a lot of Zerglings that are really doing something after the early game. Gonna catch a lot of units out of position and gonna get a little bit of scouting information. 7 drones are gonna fall into the main in the meanwhile. And these Zerglings are all going to die. Yeah, Ragnarok is sleeping off over here, but he probably can afford this.
Yeah, I mean, he's still, well, I guess right now at 80 drones to 65 of Dream. So he is definitely healthy on the economy side. And yeah, losing those, I mean, he probably don't want to lose that many drones, but still, he's still in good position.
Yeah, also his upgrades are a little bit ahead compared to the ones of Dream, who was quite slowed down by his opener. But right now, Dream is kind of exploding in both production and economy. His 4th base is up and running, turning into a planetary fortress. And there's another command center incoming. Both players kind of rushing to the late game, it seems.
Yeah, seems so. Both of them just want to make sure that they kind of work towards that that army that they want to go for. And here we go, another skirmish, another harassment here by Dream. Won't get too much done as he is greeted by a large group of Lings and Banelings.
Yeah, Ragnarok is setting up his creep to be able to expand once more and be able to defend all these locations at once. Widowmine drop doesn't really do much. Actually, the Medivac almost dies. But right now, it's not really about trades as about which one of the two players is able to get his key units out faster. Like that infestation pit can be kind of late, but this engagement from Ragnarok looks very deadly. This clump of Marines is trying to steam backwards, but the Banelings relentlessly go in, and they're gonna take a lot of lives with their explosion of acid. Meanwhile, the supply of Dream is no more. Ragnarok takes game number 1.
Yeah, that was a pretty solid ZVT there by Ragnarok, and you know what? I think he just defended all these harassment pretty well. Was able to macro from that, and then just kind of overwhelm Dream at the end there.
Also, like that window of time was perfect. There was no key units on the side of Dream whatsoever. I don't think he had concussive shells up yet. There were very little marauders, so those Marines were basically impossible to defend. And yeah, that was like the perfect moment to strike with the perfect engagement. And I hate to say this, but I feel like Dream should have been more careful about that. He also had a sensor tower.
Oh yeah. He did have a sensor tower, so he was very aware of the army movement of Ragnarok, but just didn't have enough on the ground there. And Ragnarok will take a game 1 on Jagannatha, and we are headed to game number 2 here on the map of Pillars of Gold.
Not going too far from the map style of the first game. So I don't think we're gonna see anything crazy here as well.
Yeah, we shall see. I mean, there's a definite chance of some shenanigans, but let's see how this goes. Let me go ahead and update the score 1-0, and here we go. Game number 2.
Alright, spawning in the top right hand corner here on Pillars of Gold. He's struggling 1 point behind in this best of 7. Can he tie up the score? And for Good Game Gaming, it is Dream.
And spawning here at the bottom left. Playing from Korea and representing the team of Alpha X. He's the red Zerg player. Give it up for Ragnarok. Alright, Pillars of Gold, a little bit more different compared to Jagannatha. This map is, of course, a lot more wider. Distance-wise, maybe a little bit longer, or maybe around the same.
I think Jagannatha is a little bit long, but not by like a far margin. Pillars of Gold is a difficult map to navigate through though. Like it has a lot of open areas and there's a lot of high ground in the middle of the map. And like there is this no man's land right in the middle that is really difficult to navigate from and into. So if you go for it, you must go for it, because if you find yourself trapped in this middle ground, you're done for.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, you would expect Ragnarok will probably play more Baneling heavy because of that, because it allows you to get the better wraparound with those wide open spaces. And he did pretty well last game with relying on, for the majority of the game, on Ling and Banelings, until at the very end he did add in those Hydralisks to give the finishing blow. So we could very well see Ragnarok go for that same army composition here in game number 2.
Yeah, I absolutely think Ragnarok should stick to the standards. Lingbane Hydra, no better way to approach this matchup than a classic, really. On the other hand, Dream struggling a little bit too much. I think there were some odd choices in his game plan. And I would like him to maybe play a little bit more cautiously on the aggression. I don't really know how to say this. I like him playing aggressively. I don't like him going for that kind of losing Medivac styles just for the sake of trading.
Yeah, and on top of that as well, going for that very weird, mid-game transition from like looked like mech and then went into bio. So that was a little bit like, a question mark. Let's see if maybe he has a better build order this time around. Sometimes there are those games where you just you just win based on just straight up build order, and then of course there are those games that just relies on kind of the overall strategy and gameplay.
I think we're about to see kind of the same build on the side of Dream. He went again for the command center before the starport. Is currently switching starport and Rex, so it's not the same build. But he's definitely going for a map control. Lots of aliens, starport, with a bench in production, of course, with a tech lab. That spells map control to me. And that's probably what he was never able to get in the first game of this series.
Yeah, but you know what? Look at that. Overlord Speed just finished, so Ragnarok gonna get a nice juicy scout. And we'll see everything that is happening. Sees that tech lab on the starport jiggling and wiggling.
You know me, I always say this. I think like Overlord Speed is one of the most underestimated upgrades in the game. This upgrade is kind of nuts. Like, compare it to, I don't know, Shadow Stride for Dark Templars, right? Dark Templars being like, that upgrade pays off for itself as long as just one Dark Templar survives. Not only is kind of almost the same for Overlords, it's very fast, and it really grants you a lot of scouting information before your opponent can really be up to something. Like, we see Ragnarok going, okay, you got Banshees? Alright, I'm going for a lair, because I'm not scared of you going for anything on the ground, and I need that air vision. So now these Banshees and aliens are probably not going to do anything. And that's all thanks to Overlord Speed.
Yeah, and last game we saw Dream go for that Viking. Overlord Speed can also help in that as well, as they can escape from that Viking hit. And I like it, especially on those maps where the main base are so large and it's harder for the Overlord to dive on in here. And yeah, as you can see, this map on this Pillars of Gold map, you need to dive in deep sometimes with the Overlord, so you might as well just go get that Overlord Speed and get the vision.
Yeah. He's not really gonna delay anything, and with Overlord Speed, Spire is a really good follow-up, honestly. Knowing what Dream is up to, knowing his explosion of Rex is gonna happen, but it's not gonna happen very soon, so he's gonna need that production. He cannot make force very quickly. That's a good choice. Spire can't really be countered this early in the game with the scouting information Ragnarok has.
Alright, Spire about to be done, 3/4 of the way, as well as centrifugal hooks for those banelings. So Ragnarok very focused on those upgrades and those structures as he transitioned into the mid game. And over here at the other side, though, it looks like Dream looking to put on some pressure here.
Oh yeah, that is the perfect window of timing to do that as well. Like, this is probably the only moment in this game in which Ragnarok is going to be heavily vulnerable. These mutas are in the production. There's a lot of need for gas. Centrifugal hooks is not done yet. If Dream manages to find a way through and get a couple drone kills, he can really turn the tides of the game.
Oh yeah. All right, the mutalisks are popping out very soon, so Dream's gonna have to be careful because he might get on top. You got to be careful not to have Ragnarok get on top of his medevacs and marines there.
Yeah, I feel like he lost that window in which he could have done something. Right now, Ragnarok again is in full map control. There's a lot of units streaming through the map, but there's also a lot of banelings in the production tab, and these mutas are gonna catch the movements of the army of Dream. Banshee's almost going down as well. That would have been a good catch. Oh my goodness! How did I miss that?
Don't worry, we caught that all on screen, but the Mutalisk does get a little bit sloppy there, does lose a couple of them, and it's going to be scary because Dream right now, he is pushing forward, but look at the army supply. 1-1 with almost a 20 army supply lead. This is a very, very scary time for Ragnarok.
Yeah, that's a good timing on the side of Dream. Ragnarok needs to buy a lot of time right now. These queens can do that very well. These banelings, even in low numbers, are still getting good trades. I don't really feel like Ragnarok can fight this army in less than 30 seconds. It needs to buy a lot of time. That's a lot of banelings in the production tab, and it's a very well-positioned army on the side of Dream. Reinforcements are coming up. Overlords are trying to escape. The banelings are gonna try to get a wraparound. Gonna get a couple good connections, but not enough. The supply of Ragnarok is kind of plummeting right now, and this 4th base is in real danger. Dream currently leapfrogging his tanks. They're not very defended though, so these mutas can try and buy a little bit more time. 5 of these drones are going down, and I feel like we're going to see a cancel. Lots of drones going down. Finally, a good wraparound on the side of Ragnarok. He's gonna catch all of these units, and the mutas are gonna go for the cleanup. 16 drones fallen, but the army supply finally tied, and now Ragnarok will easily surpass that. Reinforcements are coming up, but that's not an army that Ragnarok wants to fight. He just wants to wait for his banelings.
Yeah, now the good thing is that, you know, the tanks are cleaned up, so now all that remains are the Marines. That makes it a lot easier. All he needs is really a couple of banelings, and I think he should be fine. And remember, look at all the bases. I mean, Ragnarok still has all these bases compared to the only 3 of a Dream, so as long as Ragnarok holds, he should be fine.
Yeah, Dream doesn't really look like he wants to put the foot out of the gas pedal. He wants to go all in. Never stop producing units, no 30 inside, a lot of units streaming through them out. That's a lot of production, and my goodness, I love this choice on the side of Dream. Ragnarok underestimating what is happening, going to go for a counterattack to maybe stop this production from overwhelming him. The mutas are actually going to take a very good trade. That's not a bad trade at all. Dream forced to back off with a lot of units. This missile turret is gonna keep the mutas at bay. Meanwhile, 2 bases and 15 drones down into the sink, and yeah, I'm coming back to my first opinion. I don't think that was a good choice.
Oh yeah, definitely. And oh man, even on the retreat, all the mutalists get intercepted, and GG, Dream will pick up a game number 2 and tie up the series.
It was looking bad, then it was looking good, and then it was looking very bad.
Yeah. Oh man, I feel like Ragnarok was in position to hold, but just made yeah, like you said, I don't think that was the wisest decision to go for the counterattack. Maybe he should have just stayed at home and try to, you know, clean up the army and defend. And yeah,
that is one of those situations in which you kind of need to understand what you can lose and what you cannot. I feel like Ragnarok could have lost those 2 bases and be fine, as long as he won the main army fight, to just go with a counter afterwards, just slowly chipping at the army of a Dream until he could fight it. Even losing a base, or even losing 2 probably, would have been fine. He decided to go for a desperation play or a underestimation play. I don't know what between these 2, and it really didn't work out. That was a big mistake, I'd say.
Yeah, I agree. I was actually thinking the same thing. Like, I think he would have been fine if he just sacked those 2 bases, just move all the drones towards the right side, because he was also plotting down the hatchery on the bottom right side, and so all he needed to do was just transfer his drones there. Instead, he had his drones at the, I guess, the more left side, and they were, you know, basically picked off by a Dream there, and so a little bit unfortunate. And let's see if he has a better outing this time around on the map of Romanticide, which will take place in game number 3.
We played on the 3 largest maps, one after the other, in the first 3 games of this series. Well, Romanticide is bigger than Pillars of Gold, but you get what I mean.
Yeah, so that only means that as the series progresses, we're gonna have ourselves a much smaller and smaller map, which means crazier and crazier things might happen.
Who knows? These two guys can really make it crazy if they want to. Spawning on the top left-hand corner here on Romantic side is the blue Terran, tying up the score in the previous games. In the previous game, he plays for Good Game Gaming. It is Reem.
And spawned here at the bottom right side, he is the red Zerg player, hoping to crush Dreams all out there. It is Ragnarok. Alright, as this game is underway, this might be a little bit random, but you know, the other day I was like just watching clips of different Harry Potter movies. And you know, got the nostalgia going, of course. And you know what, in this pandemic, I feel like a lot of people have turned to nostalgia a bit to, you know, kind of remember the good old days when life was more simple. And so I have a question for you, Akontistes. I'm guessing you watch all the Harry Potter movies, right?
Multiple times.
Okay, good. So I want to know, out of all those movies, all the Harry Potter movies, which one is your favorite? Which one do you enjoy the most?
I was thinking about this question the whole time you were talking, and I wasn't able to make up my mind. I think it's the Goblet of Fire.
Oh my god, that is exactly my favorite too.
Yeah, I just feel like it's so interesting. It's so unique compared to the others. I mean, the last two were great. The third to last also was great. The Prisoner of Azkaban also was I mean, they're all pretty much great, but that one is something special.
Yeah, for
I don't
sure.
know. It's funnier in the funny bits, and on the important bits, like the ending, is really tense. It's really well done. I think it's a great movie.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I feel like a lot of people, or I don't know. I get the sense that a lot of people enjoy either the third or fourth as their favorite.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think both of them are awesome ones.
I have to be probably the only people on the planet that thinks the Order of the Phoenix, like the fifth movie, is the second best. I love that one as well. I absolutely love that.
You know what?
The ending is crazy good.
Oh
crazy
yeah,
good.
for sure. I mean, that battle, oh, that was so good.
Amazing, really. Like all the hiding from the Umbridge thing as well. Like that is crazy good as well.
Well, let's see.
Those two are my favorites. Absolutely.
Oh, those are some good choices. Now, the Order of the Phoenix, probably not the, I guess, most fan favorite, but I mean, it's definitely a solid movie nonetheless.
As well as a solid build on the side of Ragnarok, going for the Roach Warren for the first time in this series. And do you think that is a defensive Roach Warren, or he's gonna try and go for the aggression? Because I see a lot of overloads in production.
Ooh, that is a good question. I would say maybe it's more defensive, only because I don't feel like this map is the greatest for roach pushes. But on the other hand, I mean, I've seen Ragnarok go for roach pushes before. Mainly in ZVP with a lot of queens. But this is a ZVT, so I'm not sure if he's going for it. But it looks like, you know what, you might be right. He is making a lot of units.
And that's not a lot of drones in the production tab. Actually, I don't think he's been making a drone in the past 40 seconds. That is definitely going to be a Roach all-in, and with an armory incoming and 3 bunkers, I feel like Dream has a very good idea about what's coming.
Oh yeah, he has a feeling. His spidey senses are tingling. The question is, can he have them up before this huge roach and Ling force comes upon his base? It looks like he's evacuating his natural altogether.
Yeah, that it was there was a weak timing on the side of Ragnarok. He sadly doesn't have too much high ground vision. These Biles though gonna get that one weak medivac, sorry. Oh, that was kind of crazy. Ravagers are gonna try and deal with everything else. Lots of burning structures here in the main of Dream. And that's not a lot of income as well. Production not gonna be the crazy. But there's a tank. And that tank can do crazy things if that Viking stays alive. And a Viking has 23 health and no counter right now.
Yeah, I feel like this is not quite enough. I mean, the worker counts
It
are...
isn't.
Yeah, the worker counts are pretty even. I mean, there's 3 bases to 3 bases, which is never a great thing as a Zerg player.
Yeah, I feel like Ragnarok should have started transitioning out of this a little bit sooner. He's doing it now. 11 drones in the production double layer and double Evo chambers. And he's keeping a large amount of Zerglings to threaten the economy of Dream. If he's able to do something with his links, I think all should be fine. That's a lot of links that are not gonna find a lot of easy damage.
Yeah. We see here that Ragnarok trying to break down that rock. I'm guessing he's going to go ahead and try to take that 4th down right next to it. So the rock, killing the rocks will open up the surface area for those lings and those roaches to get this around. But in the meantime, these handful of Hellions going to go ahead and attempt to burn some drones. But some nice response time by Ragnarok.
Yeah, I was about to say the same. The response time was crazy good. Like a second later and those drones would have been done for. Very good positioning and map awareness on the side of Ragnarok. And even though the first like committed attack didn't deal as much damage as we were thinking, I still feel like Ragnarok is playing a very, very good game.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely not out of it like entirely. I mean, there's still a chance for him to even or at least grab the lead somewhat. But I'm taking a look at the income graph, and it's spiking towards for Dreams. So Ragnarok is going to definitely have to find some way. Whether it's the Banelings got a nice connection. Oh, he's targeting those Banelings on the rocks. You gotta be careful not to target. There's a common mistake there by many Zerg players actually.
Yeah, and you gotta be quick on your fingers to control select all of those Banelings out of your main army. Dream is actually going for a little bit of an harassment attack, which feels kind of forced. Just because Ragnarok has been, okay, now I need to do a lot of stuff at once. Otherwise, I will simply die to the late game army of Dream. But I also feel like Ragnarok really has all the tools he needs. Like this Spire coming up, it's going to come up pretty much uncontested. Like you can see Dream trying to make past these Crypt Tumors, and on the same time, there's a lot of Zerglings still threatening him on the map.
Yeah, I really like this maneuvering by Ragnarok, trying to take out the reinforcements. This could be his chance to get like a nice flank, but it looks like he's kind of abandoning it. Missing his opportunity, I feel.
I feel like he's probably waiting for a little bit more support on the air department. Probably waiting for a couple minutes. Actually, he's not producing any mutas. Like, yeah, that is... He's definitely setting up a flank. He's gonna force a lift on a command center, and he's gonna make a lot of units. Yeah, Banelings wrapping it around, and he's probably going to go for a good old Baneling pass through if he gets the chance.
Alright, looks like he is going to go ahead and kind of non-committal, kind of questioning whether he should go in or not.
The tank spread by Dream is kind of amazing. Both players reaching very high numbers in supply, and here comes a wraparound. That's a lot of Zerglings on a lot of sides. The army of Dream is definitely done for, but even then, it feels like an even trade.
Well, either way, I mean, that was beautiful to watch. Always very fulfilling. I mean, I guess if you're a Terran player, maybe not, but always kind of beautiful to watch that kind of sandwich.
Yeah, as a Terran player, what can you really do about it? I have this little bit of feeling that Ragnarok might have overdone it on the Zerglings. Like, that's 104 Zerglings. Like, he literally doesn't have supply for mutas.
Yeah, he is pretty much maxed out at this point, and here we go. He is gonna dive on in here.
Yeah, oh my god. Like, you see this? You see the Zerglings doing nothing and dying to the Widow Mines? That was terrible. Dream able to kite backwards. But, hey, now you can make mutas.
Yep, I guess that's the idea of it, right? A little bit. If you're maxed out, just go on here, lose some supply, make some more for Mutalisk.
Oh my, he's been struggling on the whole map. Losing this base over here, losing a lot of drones in the main, probably gonna lose that spawning pool. Oh yeah, he doesn't. And then losing a couple more drones on the top right. And these mutas didn't really strike back. Like, Ragnarok is holding by the skin of his teeth right now. And he really needs a plan for the follow-up stages of this game.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the army supply, it's like 30 ahead here for Dream, and that's not great.
The quality of it is heavily in favor of Dream. Once again, Ragnarok mostly has Zerglings. These Zerglings, as you can see, they're not doing anything. These Banelings not really able to get us around. Widow Mines doing all the work. These mutas could go for a cleanup, but they're gonna wait after clearing a lot of key units. More Zerglings in the production tab. There's more units that I really don't want to see, but these 15 buildings are gonna come in clutch.
Yeah, but you know what? Look at this on the production tab. Dream is adding in those doors, and those doors are going to be so good in dealing with these Mutalisks. The splash damage, and then also, you know, they can also do pretty well in tanking some of these Baneling shots. If the Zerg doesn't micro correctly, some of those Banelings can actually connect with those doors, and that's also a horrible scenario. So Ragnarok's going to have to micro for his life.
He's been doing a really great job at it in these last two fights. Hive is in the making. He has a backup plan. That backup plan is Vipers. If he can buy himself 1.5 minutes of time, he can easily win this game. Buying that 1.5 minutes, oh, that's very complicated. Banelings are gonna try and get on top of the Marines, and they're gonna do that very well. The Muta's coming in for the cleanup, but there's no more ground army. That trade was... that was heartbreaking.
Yeah, especially since the Mutalisks were not even in the fight. I mean, they only joined up after the fight was over. You would have loved to see the Mutalisks joined up to see if he has a better chance in defending that. I mean, in the end, it was still hard to hold because Dream was so... his army was just so strong. But still, that was not the greatest execution in terms of attacking from Ragnarok.
Like, he was clearing the ground army on the side of Marines at least, but he lost all of his ground army. And those mutas cannot really fight two Thors. Not with Medivacs, at least, and a lot of Widow Mines. So, yeah, that was an heartbreaking moment. I don't think the mutas could have done much better. I don't think he should have attacked at all, to be honest.
Yeah.
But the game was already in a precarious scenario, and it was probably like, yeah, I gotta do something.
Yeah, because, you know, Dream was also starting to expand more, and so Ragnarok needed to keep up with the bases. And so I understand why he really needed to save that base. It was like kind of a do or die moment for that. And so I can understand. I just wished he would have, kind of gathered his army a bit more sooner with the Mutalisks especially, and attacked in sync so that he had a better chance in defending. But you know what? Gotta give it up to Dream. He played really, really well. And so he will go ahead into game number 4 with a 2-1 lead. And it looks like game number 4 will take place on the map of Lightshade.
Interesting choice on the side of Ragnarok, and a very interesting game, the one we just saw. very. I feel like there's a lot to learn for a Terran player in that game. So I highly suggest any Terran player struggling against early Zerg aggression to take a page out of that Dreams game book.
Absolutely. All right, you want to do the honors of introducing our first player here?
Of course, spawning in the top left hand corner here on Lightshade is a blue Zerg player playing for Alpha X. It is RAGNAROK.
And spawning here at the bottom right corner of the map, he is the red Terran player enjoying a 2-1 lead, looking to extend it to 3-1. And as Martin Luther King once said, I have a dream.
Yeah, that was cheesy.
Cheesy intro's my thing, you know.
Yeah, I know. As well as these 16 pools. Is that a 16 pool? I think that's an earlier pool than 16.
Ah, it might be, yeah.
Huh. Is this like 12 pool expand or something? It is a natural counter to proxy, but I feel like he wants to try and deny the command center for a little bit more than the straight up early game. I think he wants to kill that SCV and stay there for a while.
Yeah, well, you know, we talked about it a little bit in the earlier in the series. You know, as this game or the series progresses, it's going to be more and more smaller maps. And you know, this is one of the smaller maps. I guess with the submarine LE, but yeah, with a smaller map, you can kind of go for that earlier pool, get those lings to bypass the Reaper, and you know, kind of possibly shut down this command center, which will be huge for RAGNAROK.
Yeah, even just deny it for a little bit, it's still kind of huge. So there's a Marine in production and there's a Marine out actually right now. Yeah, RAGNAROK going with one. Oh wait! Oh wow! He's going for the SCVs. Yeah, that's optimistic, but he finds the way open, and he's gonna try and exploit that. That one Marine doing wonders, buying a lot of time for the Reaper to come back and clean this up. But that's a lot of lost mining time on the side of RAGNAROK, of Dream. Sorry, I don't feel like it was worth it. Really, this command center is going to be late, but unless you go for something very aggressive in the next few minutes, these has basically done nothing for you.
Yeah, I have to agree. That was great setup by RAGNAROK. The Reaper did not scout this. RAGNAROK had the ability to just go for the CC. Decided to go for the SCVs, which was an odd choice, and just didn't really kill too much. I mean, looking here at the units lost tab, 6 links for only 1 SCV, and maybe a little bit of lost mining time. I don't feel like that was quite worth it.
Yeah, I feel about the same. Like at this stage, that lost mining time just transitions into having a couple less units for the next minute and a half, maybe being a little bit slower on that department. But if you don't go very aggressive right now as RAGNAROK, that one, like that 30 seconds of time in which Dream was gathering less resources has done nothing for you.
Exactly, and now RAGNAROK, you know, with being a little bit behind, can't really afford to go for that Overlord speed. That would be really helpful right now, because right now he's pretty much in the dark.
Yeah, he's gonna lose an Overlord that was kind of an important piece of the puzzle if he wants to play aggressively, and I don't think he can play aggressive no more. There's an armor incoming, there's a lot of Hellions in the production tab on the side of Dream. And Concussive Shells. That is going to be actually a very deadly harass attack on the side of Dream.
Yeah, he has no idea. I mean, right now he's making a spore call, those safety spore calls, because again, he did not have any info or scouting information. So right now he's just making blind spore callers. Unfortunately for him, he won't realize that it's pretty much useless, because what Dream is going for is a timing attack with these Hellbats and Marauders.
Ragnarok is gonna try and set up a wall of queens, but as you can see, these Hellbats right now turning are gonna make short work of anything trying to come too close. The Sparkler is a really important piece of this puzzle. Banelings are gonna try and get forward, not gonna get good trades with these Hellbats spread together. Queens falling is the most important thing for Dream, and not a single queen has died in this whole fight.
Oh,
That is the whole point of this, and no queen died.
Yeah, and you know what? I feel like Ragnarok has, with that, blunder of attack by Dream, has taken the lead once again.
Yeah, like this attack hitting 15 seconds later than it's supposed to, due to that early game from Ragnarok, was everything Ragnarok needed. Now he has double Evo Chambers, both researching. He has a lair incoming. He has good unit production if he desires to, and he didn't lose a lot of queens. How many queens did he lose? 2. Yeah, that is... I take that trade every day of my life.
And you know what? Ragnarok, he is going to go ahead and just macro like a beast. More drones on the production, and look at that. He spreading those creep tumors like wildfire. He made so many queens in the beginning that he's able to just spread those creep left, right, and center. And so every time Dream is going to go ahead and try to go for an forward attack, he's going to have to clean up those creep tumors, which is pretty annoying.
Yeah, especially on a shorter map, which creep can take over very quickly. We see a macro arch on the side of Ragnarok, something we haven't seen in this series so far. And he's also taking a 4th and trying to un-macro his opponent, as you were saying. I'm guessing he's gonna try and play a more defensive style game and try to rush deck. But I'm guessing wrong because there are 3 drop alerts incoming.
Oh, wow. So we're going to have some drop plays by both players here, as we do see a Widowmine drop here down at the bottom left corner of the map. Let's see how many drones can he pick up. But even so, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. He lost way too many compared to what he could have lost. Oh, yeah. Another 5. Yeah, that's not very good. Ragnarok is losing way too much stuff. Oh, the Widowmine goes down, and he's not gonna... Oh, yeah, he's gonna take a shot. That's a lot of links. Yeah, terrible defense on the side of Ragnarok this time.
Yeah, and it's very unfortunate because his response time was actually pretty... somewhat on point. I just think that he didn't have a really good split there. So it does lose a bit more, but look at this. Look at these overlords with all these lings here.
Yeah, in the end, it's not gonna be a trade Ragnarok is gonna be too sad of taking. If this drop is gonna do some serious work, that's a lot of lanes with +1. That's a lot of lanes in a production tab. Ragnarok has not been replacing those drones, guys. Wow, that's a lot of that stuff. Oh, and here comes the drop alerts straight for the production while the main army fights at the wall. There's no tank with this. Ragnarok knew there was no tank. He needs to go for that factory. If the factory goes down, there's no way Dream is gonna defend this. That's a lot of lead SCVs right now. The drop alerts still there if he needs to micro out some stuff. The Viking doing his best to keep the overlords out of this. The Widowmine's taking a lot of great shots, but the supply of Dream is physically plummeting. The Widowmines are currently spawning, have been dealing a lot of damage, but 26 and counting SCVs down into the sink. 24. The links in the production tab on the side of Ragnarok though. These Widowmines are recharging their shot. The production is in real danger right now. There's even changelings to block the units of Dream. So much stuff happening right now. This command center needs to be lifted, but cannot be repaired. And the links are still streaming through the map. And you know what? Ragnarok is like, okay, I dealt enough damage. Let me make 12 drones.
Oh my god, Ling for days. Ling for days. And I think that is all he needs. GG. Ragnarok will tie up the series.
amazing game from start to finish on the side of Ragnarok. That defense from the Widowmines was absolutely horrifying. That was terrible. But he didn't need that. He had a plan, he executed that perfectly. And man, I'm super impressed.
Yeah, same here. Especially since there was like pretty much no banelings in the latter stages of that fight. It was just all lings streaming across. But I guess that's all you really need. Just lings to chomp on those poor Marines.
Yeah. Gotta hit that Z key. Oh.
Alright, looks like Death Aura will be our 5th map. This is going to be a very important 5th game because the series is tied 2-2. Whoever wins this will take the series lead and be 1 point away. Will be match point. And will be able to put themselves in a position to just win 1 more to clinch the series. Again, this is a best of 7, not the usual best of 9 that we usually have in the Alpha Pro series. So each game and each win, each losses, they count a little bit more than usual.
Yeah. Very aggressive go-go on the side of Ragnarok here in the chat. And like we were saying before this series started, it's gonna be all 7 games played. But at this stage, it could be all 7 games without knowing what is the final score. Like the score is tied 2-2. And we were like, yeah, if someone wants 4-1 or something, we're gonna play the rest of the maps. I don't think that's gonna be the case. I think all the maps are gonna be played because they're needed to be played.
Possibly. We shall see.
Alright. The score is tied. Here, in the bottom right-hand corner, is the man who just tied it up. Playing for Alpha X, spawning as the blue Zerg player. It is RAGNAROK.
And here we go at the top left corner of the map. He's the red Terran player. Playing for Good Game Gaming. Make some noise for Dream.
Finally mixing it up with his favorite build.
Alright, here we go. Double racks. Do you think this is close enough? I feel like it might be a little bit further than...
Have you seen Ragnarok? Is drone scouting right now.
Yeah, he is playing it super safe. The question is, will he find this?
That's some sick spider senses, really. Yeah, he's gonna find it. He's gonna find it right at the end, but it is far enough from his base that he probably... No, he changed the path.
Changed the path. Oh no.
Oh. Yeah, that is a little bit heartbreaking. Now the Overlord saw both SCVs. But yeah, the first Marine already is through. And there's a bunker going on. That spot is made from the devil. Look at that SCV. Untargetable behind that spot. That is something from a nightmare.
Oh, he does a good job canceling though, so that should buy him a bit extra time, but he's going to have to try to cancel it once again.
Ooh, it is a cancel, straight at the end. You know what? You can see in that cancel why Dream is so good at this build. Like, he takes minimal losses and always takes maximum damage. Like, right now, these Marines really kiting backwards, really playing this safe. Like, the SCV is gonna fall, but it's not really gonna matter. Another cancel. The second bunker is in the making. The Marines are not going down, and a bunch of drones are falling one after the other. Now it's time for the Queen to chime in and try to bring that SCV down. He's gonna die. The bunker is gonna be needed to be cancelled. But you know what? Dream still has a fair amount of Marines in there, while the T-Rex are probably gonna lift and not lifting. They're still producing Marines.
Yep, there we go. He finally does lift off.
Okay.
And all in all, I would say pretty decent hold there by Ragnarok.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
but Dream is not really committing to anything. Like, these Marines right now are still gonna trade favorably. And oh yeah, that was not a very favorable trade. But if he gets that queen, that's kind of bad for Ragnarok.
Yeah, look at that. He's trying to micro it, make sure he does not lose it. And I think, yeah, he will be able to save that just in the brink of death.
Losing those Marines is not that great for Dream. Like, after a double proxy Rex, what you get is a Marine advantage and 2 Rex before your factory, right? So you can double it down, make it free, and going for an early drop or something. And now Dream cannot.
But on the other side, he did, kill a fair amount of lings, right, during that like kiting session, and he did force actually a lot more lings behind this out of Ragnarok. So you see these lings coming across the map. Well, actually, maybe these lings.
There's no counter to this though. Like the aliens are still in the making. They do not have ling speed, so they're gonna be fodder for the aliens once the time comes. But yeah, okay, yeah, never mind. It's not gonna be anything crazy. Oh, these aliens are gonna make short work of these lanes.
Some nice spreading there by Ragnarok. We'll go ahead and pull those Hellions left and right. But yeah, now it's just... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, just wasn't going to say that he was trying to save what was possible to save. Go ahead.
Yeah, so basically, what started out with a pretty, I guess, chaotic kind of a start has suddenly all turned to a normal game. It seems like both players are starting to transition to that mid game, and just macroing up, getting their upgrades and all.
Yeah, Dream getting a fairly well-timed Steam pack, considered what has been going on in the past few minutes. While Ragnarok is gonna take a considerably later third than I would have liked him to. Like, he's now currently tied on bases with his opponent, and Dream has had this orbital command for quite a while.
Yeah, he does. And there's no, like, glaring tech advantage from Ragnarok to, make it worth the late third. So this could be, come back to haunt him a little bit. But as you can see, he is still trying to drone out. Oh, yeah, just 7 more drones. So hopefully he can make it up for that late third there.
Yeah, you were saying this before as well, actually. You were talking about how Dream forced out a lot of links. And when you make link, like, the golden rule of Zerg is really, if you make links, do something with them. If they're your Zerglings, don't do anything. That's a lot of wasted larva, a lot of wasted resources that could have gone into drones or resources. And yeah, right now these links coming in clutch, defending against this alien drop, very good reflexes on the side of Ragnarok. But those links in the early game, those low links making their way through the map and doing absolutely nothing, that is when things starts to go bad for Ragnarok. It's not like Dream has any clear advantage, but he could be having a clear advantage in the next few minutes if he plays his hand right.
I'm getting a little bit worried though, because you mentioned the dirt being late. The lair is actually pretty late too. So this the Baneling speed is not going to be able to research in time before this attack commences.
It's not like Dream is committing too many resources into this, and Ragnarok has a fairly good unit positioning, but that's not gonna be a favorable trade. Absolutely. Yeah, the lanes are gonna coming in behind, but there's a lot of aliens to protect them. But the rest of the army comes in clutch though. These queens, oh my, do they have range? That's a lot of Zerglings, but that's also a lot of Marines that are gonna get saved by the Medivacs. It is astounding to see that Dream, after losing that fight that hard, is still ahead in both workers and supply. Oh yeah, not ahead in supply, but he's even.
Well, his 1-1 is about to be done, so that should help out during this engagement a lot more. However, with all the action that has been happening, Ragnarok, compared to the previous games, has not done a quite good job in spreading that creep tumor. So That's something that you gotta, we'll keep an eye out on, because that could come back to really bite him in the behind. And here we go, another secondary attack here coming from Dream.
This time, 2 tanks mixed in. And creep tumors is starting to be a real problem, Snoopy. I think you're absolutely right on this. Like, Dream is not really even committing to these attacks. He's just sending in a couple of his marines. Here comes the wraparound on the side of Ragnarok. He's gonna clean this up completely. But I don't think Dream really minds.
Yeah, right now he's just trading evenly.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really need to, get any big kills. Because right now he's ahead in the worker count. He's pretty much tied in the army supply. So really, he's sitting pretty dandy.
Yeah. Dropping him in and gonna be stopped by a very well positioned Spore Crawler. Dream is sending more and more units through the map. There's an infestation pit coming as well as the Hydra Den. So right now, Ragnarok kind of trying to rush to the Hive Tech, and he badly needs that Hive Tech to get a very favorable trade with Vipers. So, that's gonna be one heck of a stalling game. I don't know if Ragnarok can stall for that long.
Alright, a single drop here in the main base while this attack and harassment is happening at the third base.
Yeah, that's a lot of units committed to the main for defense, so that means that those creep tumors are gonna be cleared once more. And these queens actually find themselves in a very bad position. One of them is going to fall, and now the marines can finally steam into the mineral line. Gonna take 4 drones down, while Ragnarok is setting up for the wraparound once again. Not as well as the previous times, he's still gonna get a lot of kills, but you can see the supply. These kills won't matter, because there's a lot of reinforcements incoming. That's a lot of their marines there in the corner, and that's a lot of supply in those medivacs.
Yeah, it's
actually, he bought himself a lot of time. I don't know if it was just enough.
Yeah, that's the question, right? I mean, the good thing is that, there's no more tanks left, so he doesn't need to worry about his Banelings being focus fire. Looks like with the 2-1 upgrade lead here with these links, he should looks like he will be able to force these units back for the time being.
Terrible Widowmine's shot on the side of Dream there. He wasn't patient enough to get some good Widowmine shots. Those Widowmines got on top of the queens, which didn't do anything. Now we have a Lurker Den. Oh yeah, that's what I want to see on the side of Ragnarok. Bring it down on the defense a little while longer, because you don't have any creep whatsoever.
Yeah, now the question is, can he buy enough time to get those lurkers out? If he gets those lurkers, that would make it so much easier for him.
Yeah. Oh, that's a bad spot for Ragnarok. Those Banelings adding off creep is exactly what he never wanted to do. He needed to buy time for the other Banelings to spawn, but now the number is high enough to clear the army of Dream. Lots of reinforcements incoming, lots of economy on the side of Dream, and that's a lot of production as well. Ragnarok needs to buy yet more time, and this Liberator is making his life hell on the defense into the main as well. Oh, that's a tense game, Snoopy.
Yeah, I mean, Ragnarok is just holding into the brink of life. Does he even evacuate this base right here, it seems like? But oh, look at the lurkers are finished.
Oh, that's beautiful Widowmine shots between the natural and the third. Here comes the lurkers at last to deal with these units, but that's a lot of Widowmines. Sorry, a lot of medivacs. Those lurkers do not have high enough DPS to clear that. It was a roller coaster of a game.
Yeah, Ragnarok was able to finally get those lurkers out, but in the end, just didn't have enough to even buffer for those lurkers, and a Dream just kind of almost kind of a snowballed Ragnarok in the way, because fight after fight, battle after battle, it just seemed like the supply was getting more and more ahead for Dream.
Yeah, like Dream played a very good game from start to finish, really. Even that proxy not really cutting the deal was still enough for him to transition into a very aggressive mid game. And Yeah, I think you got the best read of this game about those crypt tumors. Dream constantly killing those crypt tumors really was like a shot into a leg for Ragnarok. He wasn't never able to establish any kind of map control, and that was really crippling for him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and it's kind of unfortunate because Ragnarok throughout this the whole series really was doing so well in those creep in the creep spread game after game, and then just that last game he wasn't able to spread the creep as well, and that kind of led to his demise in the end because he just wasn't able to get that to get the the wraparound as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And so now let's see here. The score is Dream 3, right? 3-2.
Yes.
All right. Cool.
All right, we're in the 6th set of this Best of 7 series, and we're in the bottom left-hand corner here on Oxide, where the Blue Zerg is currently spawning, playing for Alpha X. He needs 2 in a row. Can he do that? It is Ragnarok.
And spawning here at the top right, he is the red Terran player, 1 game away from clinching this series. Can he do it, guys? Give it up for Dream. So, both these players, in the recent IEM Katowice, they both actually competed in the I guess play-in bracket.
Yeah.
Well, they both were able to qualify for the group stage of the round of 32, and so yeah, both these players pretty solid. Of course, they can constantly compete in GSL Code S year after year, and always great to see both of these players. I feel like these players, because they're so evenly matched, that they kind of play against one another for so many times. And but the thing is, because they play so many against each other so many times, they kind of became friends.
Yeah.
And I believe, if I recall, one because it was during the group stage, I believe, or was it? No, wait. It was might have been a different event, but I feel like Ragnarok, he said he was like sad to play against his friends in events. So yeah, both these players basically, they've been competing against one another for years.
Yeah, absolutely. That's always nice to hear those kind of stories, and it really shows in the way they play the game. Really, always very respectful of their opponent, and of course, always trying to do something a little bit trickier, but maybe a little more surprising as well. Because of course, of the history you were talking about, we see both players really trying to mix it up as much as possible. I don't think we've seen any twice the same build in 6 games out of Dream.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Both of these, or especially Dream, this I guess there's those, of course, those standard common build orders, but if you can mix them in, that always keeps your opponent guessing, and that's always a great thing under your belt.
It's a bit like fighting games, right? You need to have those mix-ups, those combos that are more surprising. And StarCraft, as a 1 versus 1 game, takes something out of that as well.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me of the old school kung fu movies, where like one style of kung fu can counter another one, and so you see that kind of displayed in those movies.
Yeah, StarCraft has everything in it, guys. It has fighting games. You can compare to, I don't know, racing games, to chess, to poker, whatever you want, guys.
Yeah, even comedy shows, because some of these plays in StarCraft can give you a good laugh.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, that's an armory play. on the side of Dream, and let me check if he has a Medivac. Yeah, he does. It's gonna be in a Hellbat timing once more, but you see the Tech Lab next to the Starport. Once again, Dream trying to mix it in with something different, something more. It's got a Banshee follow-up to this Hellbat timing. And that's something we never see in this series. Even if he goes for a Hellbat timing again, Ragnarok is expecting that. He's gonna answer to this properly, but there's a Banshee coming. Good run by on the side of Ragnarok, still gonna deal some damage. The Queens are very low on health though. Queens are starting to fall. These Hellbats have got a little bit too much AoE damage. The Medivac has fallen as well, and there's a Spine Crawler for defense. Getting those links through the map was quite pricey for Ragnarok. There's a layering coming. Finally, I think this attack is going to be cleared with these few Zerglings spawning. And on the other side of the map, Ragnarok, I don't feel like he dealt enough damage. That's an early Spire for Ragnarok though. And once again, like, this is perfect timing. We were talking about these two players trying to do different things. And this is a whole new and unique situation that we haven't yet experienced in 5 games.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of StarCraft. I mean, you have all these same units, these same races year after year, game after game, yet a lot of these games are very, very different.
Yeah, that's a very unique way of playing the matchup on both sides, really. The Hellbat timing, very strong, felt kind of out of fashion, and coming right again here in this series with Dream. We see a Banshee play follow-up, which is kind of crazy compared to the way Dream used to play the previous series, games of the series, sorry. And this Banshee is actually taking a lot of kills.
Yeah, this is gonna definitely pay off. 8 drones, make that 9. Can we get to double digits? Yep, 10.
Oh, the Banshee barely survives. Can he make it through the third? Yeah, I don't think he can. I don't think he can. He's gonna go down. 12 drones, though. And the second Banshee coming here in the third, in the natural, sorry, to take 2 more kills. And back home, what is Dream doing? Mech.
Oh, will we finally get mech? I think so. There's no weird bio transition, and this is what I wanted to see the first time around. I didn't want to see like a weird, awkward bio transition. He is going full on mech, and he is trying to make it happen.
All right. Lowering those Queen's number. It was a good play on the side of Dream. Even losing those Hellbats in the end kind of paid off. Even though like it didn't really work. Kind of paid off. These mutas are gonna show their hand to try and stop the second attack on the side of Dream. Oh, the Hellbats diving into the mineral line. This Spine Crawler cannot do too much. The Medivacs, or what? The mutas. Yeah, that's the right word. Coming in clutch and dealing with the Hellions. Ragnarok trying to rush these bases, but Dream. This play of Dream, I'm so curious to see what is going to happen.
Oh my
God!
Oh
yeah,
my!
I was curious, but I wasn't ready for that.
I didn't even notice those widow mines there. Holy cow!
They were very well hidden. Oh yeah, like going into that base is not gonna do anything for Ragnarok as well. There's, well, 2 missile turrets waiting for him, and yeah, there's still a Banshee. Like, keeping Banshees alive and doing something with them is always gonna pay off so big for the Terran players. 4 more kills for this Banshee. 5, and probably counting. Where is the Overseer? Yeah, finally coming in. But that's a little bit too late.
Yeah. 9 drones. So, all in all, in this game, a total of 28 drones going down here for Ragnarok. Dream is looking to be pretty great position to close out the series. Although the supplies are pretty close still.
Yeah, those mutas really didn't do anything for Ragnar. That's kind of sad, really. He's now turning into Roach Warrior play with missile attack and stuff such as that. He still has air attack in the making. That means he probably will try to make something out of those mutas or even corruptors in the future. But he badly, badly needs ground army, because what is about to come on the side of Dream is a lot of Widow Mines.
Yeah, a lot of wind mines indeed. And also the upgrade lead as well for Dream. Right now, +1 range is being researched by Ragnarok, but Dream already has his +1/1 and also has his +2/2 on the way as well.
Yeah, 2 more factories in the making as well to double it down on the production and start trading efficiently, because that's what MacDudes does. He gets +2/+2, he gets 2 more factories, and he starts trading always efficiently while keeping a good production backup. So Ragnarok needs to exploit this window of timing, which 2-2 is not done yet, and he's trying to do absolutely that. Widowmine's gonna take a lot of good shots, and these tanks are gonna try and do as much as possible on top of the Ravagers. Can they do that? That's a lot of Vikings that gonna land, but they're not gonna do much while these Ravagers are ravaging through the army of Dream. Beautiful play from Ragnarok, more piles incoming, and yet haven't seen this coming at all. These Ravagers cannot take to the tank, but they can deal a lot of damage to these SCVs, a lot of units falling on both sides. But Ragnarok keeping up with the production, sending 12 more roaches up into the main base of Dream. These Widowmines trying to keep the wall up, but I don't think the Dream can hold this effectively. There's even mutas mixed in into this. These tanks are not safe with these mutas coming in. And now we see also a little bit of a wraparound from Ragnarok. This is a beautiful play from the Zerg. Can he close it out right now? That's gonna be a very tall task. These mutas fighting with the Vikings to try and stay alive. He's gonna dive on top of these tanks. 3 of them are between him and the mineral lines, and they're gonna go down. There's nothing left standing between Ragnarok and the economy of his opponent. 1 tank in the main, 2 tank in the main, but there's 2 mutas threatening their lives. This is a beautiful play on the side of Ragnarok. He needs to dive into that mineral line. Oh, he's gonna try and get on top of the tanks, and he will do that. These 2 Ravagers coming in clutch with their piles, and they're gonna be the end of those tanks. 12 more SCVs down the sink, and is now the wall under attack. Ragnarok takes game number 6, and this was one heck of a fashion to do that.
Oh my goodness, that I gotta say was such a weird game. It was just going back and forth, and yeah, Ragnarok with the killing blow there. That was some beautiful corrosive biles, and he will take it and not concede the series yet. Type the series at 3-3, and we're gonna have ourselves a game number 7.
Oh, that was beautiful. Beautiful game. One of the best games I've watched in a while, actually. It was so interesting, so funny to watch. Such a good call from Ragnarok. Like, so interesting.
Yeah. And mind you, he lost like the bulk of his meter list so early on during that attack. And just managed to switch over to roaches and ravagers and lings and made it work. And now we're here in game number 7 with on the map that to end all series, the map of Submarine LE.
What better way to end this series? If this is a proxy, I'm going to scream very loud, guys.
Or maybe it could be a very fast 15-16 pool, right?
Or maybe they're gonna play with our minds and gonna play a 45-minute game. That's ZVT for you guys, by the way. All these things can happen even at once sometimes. So, yeah. But anyway, for the last introduction of this series, we're in game number 7. It's do or die. Bottom right-hand corner here on Submarine is where the blue Zerg is currently spawning, just tying up the score in the previous game with one heck of a timing attack. Can he make it twice in a row and bring the series back home? playing for Alpha X. It is Ragnarok.
And spawning here at the top left corner of the map, hailing from Korea, playing for Good Game Gaming, it is Dream.
One of the two players really wants to try and go for something too aggressive. They don't want to risk it all with a proactive cheese. So they're gonna open standardly as possible.
Yeah, both these players just paying a bit of respect to one another. It'll be very interesting to see what build here that Dream goes for. We've seen him go for the Hellbat Marauder timing push. We've seen him go for Proxy 2 racks. We've seen him go for a bunch of different builds. And this is the last game, so I think he should be bringing out his bread and butter type build. The one that he's most comfortable and relies on the most.
There's one thing that I think Dream has been doing every single game he won. And that was establishing map control through some means of proactive drops. Any game he lost, he failed to do exactly that. So I want him to establish that map control to stop Ragnarok from spreading creep on a map as short as Submarine is. And I think that is the best call you can possibly make.
Yeah, that is a good point to note, because this map's so small that if the creep spreads through the middle, there is a possibility that Ragnarok can just pull his queens and go for an all-in, and that could be pretty devastating.
Yeah, you've seen Rainer versus Maru, guys. You know this can happen.
Alright, looks like we have ourselves a tech lab going to be switched over to the starport. So, looks like a Banshee play might be on the way, unless he gives us a big surprise and throw down a fusion core of some sort. But I don't, I don't expect that. I'm fully expecting a Banshee play.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is actually a good call. Banshee's been working wonders in this series so far. Like the last game, I think they killed at least 30 drones.
Yeah, and even on the map on Romanticide, when Ragnarok was trying to go for that very commit attack, that Banshee popped out and was able to clean out the Ravagers.
Yeah, and that is always good to have the backup plan on shorter maps. Because right now, Ragnarok is going for a 4 minutes lair. Guys, 4 minutes is as early as possible as you can get a lair. You cannot humanly possible take a lair earlier than that, and there's a Roach Warren incoming.
Oh, I think we're about to have ourselves a Roach Ravager Queen push, and you can see
I think so as well.
Yeah, I'm guessing so. Although he is researching Overlord speed.
Maybe to spread creep?
Oh, that's a good point. I was like, why is he investing in Overlord speed this late? Wouldn't you want to save that gas? But you know what? You make a great point. He can actually use the Overlords to ferry, or to ferry those creep spread. Use the queens instead to just move across instead of wasting their energy on creep tumor. So yeah, that might be
it's
a.
Nidus.
Oh, that's a
Oh,
possibility.
it's Drop Alert! Oh, that's even better.
Oh man.
Oh my goodness. That is one heck of a ride, guys. I wouldn't have it any other way. That's Queens in an Overload. Ooh, man. Let's do this.
Alright, there we go. Queens are being ferried. Those Banshees are staying at home just because they're being a bit cautious.
Yeah, these lanes, of course, are gonna be coming in clutch. Look at the queens being dropped. I love this so much. I'm so proud of you, Ragnarok. Even if this doesn't work, he's still gonna be a winner in my eyes.
Yeah,
that is a shit move if I've ever seen one.
I mean, this is the 7th game. Might as well YOLO it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And these Ravagers are almost untouchable. There's no Viking to stop the drop alert ravaging through, and his queens into the main, dropping down and transfusing themselves to full health. That's a lot of Marines trying to bring them down, but as you can see, they survived a lot of shots. The wall is open. Time for the links to stream through or get blocked behind Ravagers, whatever you want. This is a beautiful finish to a beautiful series. Only the tank, only the bunker left standing. 3 Ravagers piling down the tank goes down. Queens, both of them still standing, but Dream makes a hold, makes the difference with the bunker and the Queen. And the Banshee, sorry. More units streaming through the map, but the drop alert is gone. 15 SCVs have died for Dream. Ragnarok has the supply advantage, is still streaming through the map with a lot of units. And there's still 3 base production, but that is not enough. The all-in fails, and Dream takes the series.